don't know, my name is Tim Long. I'm the president of GSLBAA for at least a couple more weeks. And I'm going to call our annual members meeting to order at 1:05 p.m. Reports. Uh, Amy, do you want to walk through the opening remarks regarding the election and then share the screen with the bios?
Sure. You want me to share? Who do you want me to share first?
Well, let's start with. Well, go ahead and start with Rich Ropp, and while you're pulling that up, I'll mention that voting is going on now. If you haven't voted yet, do so by midnight on February 28th. If you need the ballot emailed to you again, contact info@geeslebaa.org. For any of the candidates on here on the call, I believe Larry Crump is with us. When we get to him, he can just talk about himself. For those who are not on the call, I will read your bios. Is Rich Ropp with us?
I didn't see his name.
Okay. Well, Rich is running for president. That he'll be replacing me. I'll be the immediate past president for the next 12 months. Rich is originally from Melbourne, Florida. He grew up flying on TWA when air travel was still a luxury, a privilege, and major convenience, given you could reach hundreds of destinations nonstop from St. Louis. He has assumed increasingly advanced aviation roles over the last 30 plus years at companies including Millionaire, Southwestern Bell, Midcoast, JetCorp, Sentient, JSSI, Wayfarer, and Jet Aviation. He founded and operated aircraft appearances based in Florida and Missouri in the 1990s. He currently serves as JetLink's National Senior Vice President, responsible for business development support, helping each new base reach a desired benchmark of financial maturity and performance. Previously, as president of JetLink St. Louis, his responsibilities included aircraft management and jet card sales to affluent and C-suite prospects in the region, managing the day-to-day base operations team, P&L and strategic plan for this base, amongst many other vast and varied duties. Rich has served 3 terms as GSLBAA treasurer, 1 term as president and past president, and he was a 6-year member of the MBAA Schedulers and Dispatchers Committee. He currently serves as a Wings of Hope board of director. He always finds time for outdoor exercise, running, cycling, riding, and travel. I've known Rich for a long, long time, and he's going to be an outstanding president again. And with that, let's move to members at large. Amy, if you want to pull up the rest of the bios. Larry Crump, if you're on, if you could go ahead and unmute and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, sir. I'd be happy to. Hey, everybody. My name's Larry. I am currently dual enrolled at SWIC and SIUC. I need equivalent flight training to finish my associates in fixed-wing aircraft operations. And I am pursuing a bachelor's in aviation management through SIUC. And then after that, I intend to go on and get my MBA, probably online while I'm flying, either private or corporate. I took a little bit of a break today to incorporate this into my lunch. So I'm sorry about the timeliness of it and everything, but it worked out well. I have been a member of GSLBAA for probably going on about 2 years now, maybe about a year and some change. And I helped write the trivia questions for last year. Unfortunately, with COVID, that got canceled, but that just gives us a leg up for next year, I guess. And going forward, I think that I want to incorporate drone business into the list of things that I have in my life, and yeah, just aerospace contracting and that sort of thing as well. But that's, as I get my degree, I'm learning more and more about the regulatory requirements and the legal requirements of all that. And yeah, that's about it. I don't have too much experience in terms of aviation, but I have previously been vice president of Truman State University Student Senate, assistant chief of the St. Francis County Fire Department Explorers Program, which is an under 18 program to put people in touch with first responders for career aspirations and that sort of thing. So in terms of parliamentary experience, I probably have more of that than I do have aerospace experience, but going forward, I do want to remedy that. But yeah, thank you guys very much for your time.
Larry, thank you. I really appreciate it, and appreciate you taking on the role as Q&A mentor for the trivia night, and we'll get one in 2021. Let's go move on to Beth Hankey Campbell, incumbent member at large on the board.
Hello, hi. Yeah, I'm running again for the board. This will be my second term. I currently serve on the committees. I am the chair for the golf committee. This is my second year doing that. And I was a member of the golf committee the first year I was involved. I also have been on the trivia night committee. I am on the bylaws committee. Amy and I worked very hard on rewrite on the bylaws. I also work with the student membership mentorship committee. In so much as since I'm not a pilot, I'm in town all the time, and I'm able to be at the meetings to introduce our student members around to the different people on the board, and then our membership. I work at Wings of Hope. I'm the CFO over there. I have a undergrad in accounting. I just got my MBA in nonprofit management. In addition to serving on this board, I'm also a board member at the Endangered Wolf Center out in Eureka, and I'm involved with the Missouri Lions Club. I look forward to continuing my service here with GSLBAA to help promote aviation. My dad was a corporate pilot for Anheuser-Busch. My brother, John, used to be a member and past president of GSLBAA. However, he passed away a few years ago, which is kind of roundabout how I got here and how I got to Wings of Hope. And my brother, Carl, still flies business aviation. And my brother, Jim, is an A&P mechanic over at Emerson. So aviation is deep in my family. And although I'm not a pilot, I've always had a deep love for aviation, especially corporate aviation. And I look forward to your vote. Thanks.
Thank you, Beth. And I will tell everyone that Beth did an amazing job running the golf tournament the last couple of years. And trying times, that was quite the accomplishment. We'll move on to Mr. Aaron Human.
Hi, everybody. I'm an AF St. Louisan from South City, first generation aviation in my family. I started my aviation career, at Weiss Aviation doing line service in the mid-90s. Graduated from Parks College in 98. While there, I was on the flight team and assistant flight team coach. After instructing at Weiss, I went to Thunder Aviation, where I was a MEI there, as well as a charter pilot on Navajo. After that, I left to pursue a 121 career at Chautauqua Airlines, where I was a SOT 340 first officer, Dash 8 first officer. Then I upgraded to captain in 2004 on the Embraer 145, and transitioned over to the Embraer 170 in 2011. So I was a captain from 04 to 17. Got the corporate bug before 2017. Let's say, I guess I joined GSLBAA in 2014, and I think GSLBAA is a big part of why I became a corporate pilot. It gave me the avenue to network and transition from 121 to corporate, where I did in 2017, becoming a pilot for Monsanto on the Falcon 900. Of course, Monsanto closed down, where I went to Peabody and became a Challenger pilot there. And once I heard they were shutting down Peabody's department, I moved over to Clayco, where I've been a Challenger 350 pilot coming up on a year. And this would be my first time doing any sort of board work if elected, but like I said, GSLBAA was an avenue for me to pursue my corporate career, and I'm willing to pitch out and help give back now to GSLBAA and look to promoting GSLBAA's efforts in hiring the next generation of pilots and mechanics. I think with COVID, we obviously have had a respite in the hiring crunch, but it's going to be coming back here when things go back probably to hopefully pre-COVID levels here in a few years. So like I said, I'm willing to help out in any way for this organization.
Wonderful, Aaron. Thank you so much. And last but not least, we will hear from Mr. James Reid, and always got to give a shameless plug to a Beechcraft alumni. So take it away, James.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, my aviation career started a long time ago, and actually Tim used to be my my boss when I was a employee as a line guy at Executive Beechcraft. So I've really been around Spirit of St. Louis for most of my life, flying airplanes. I did small flying the 121 world until I decided to come back to St. Louis. I flew for a company, multiple ones, but one of which was CTS. And that's when GSLBAA became pretty important to me in just getting a feed for what was going on in the business aviation community. I was the sole pilot there, and I think that helped keep me in the loop. Over the years, I've flown for numerous different operations all around Spirit St. Louis. Until now, I'm actually with Emerson Electric, flying the Falcon 900. Been there a couple years now. I have family in the area. I'm native, wife and 2 boys, 6 and 8. So I've been pretty busy with them. But now that everyone's in school again, looking forward to kind of getting more involved in the community since we have a little bit more time. So I think hopefully this would be a good opportunity for me to get involved and also bring in what Emerson has to offer to GSLBAA, and be more part of our community. So I appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, I'm excited to get more involved.
Awesome, James. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. We have some wonderful candidates this year, and just remind everybody voting ends at midnight on the 28th. So if you haven't cast a ballot yet, please do so. We'll move on to bylaw revisions, and I'm going to turn that over to Beth and Amy. They have done yeoman's work on this. This is actually a project that I probably started 7 years ago, and it just stalled out 2 or 3 times, and they finally picked up the torch and have carried us to the finish line. So if Amy and Beth, if you can kind of give everybody a high-level briefing on where things stand, I'd appreciate it.
I guess I'll go first. I was just going to say the last version of the bylaws was in 2009. Like Tim said, he started editing it, and then I think it got passed on to another group of people to edit it and another group of people to edit. So by the time Beth and I took it over, it had a lot of edits on it. So we worked on a complete revision of the entire document, cutting it down from like 15 or 19 pages down to 10 pages. I mean, it was so outdated. The officer positions were not even correct. They talked about a secretary treasurer position, which when I came on board as administrator, we didn't even have that. It was split up between the treasurer, and they have since hired an administrator, which was Beverly and then now me, to do the duties of the secretary. So it was very outdated. We added in a lot of wording about being able to deliver meeting notices and voting by email. You know, just all the electronic world that we're in nowadays, and attending the meetings, you know, by Zoom and stuff like that. So we added a lot of that verbiage in there. But we decided to go with a new way of organizing the bylaws. Maybe Beth might be able to speak more on this with her degree, but there were some of the things that we took out of there and moved into the policies and procedures were things that we didn't want to have to rewrite the whole bylaws every time we wanted to make a minor change. Things like the names of the memberships, because we had changed them to professional, affiliate, student. We added a student, we added the affiliate, stuff like that. The types of corporate memberships, I think they were just 2 different types before, and we changed them into like 4 different groups because we got feedback that people wanted more variety of tiers and ways that they could have, you know, different size members, different pricing and stuff like that. So now it's platinum, gold, silver, all that stuff. And then also the duties of the officers, we put that kind of stuff in the policies and procedures because that kind of changes more often than the actual bylaws. We cleaned up a lot of the wording to make it much easier and simpler to read, and took out a lot of the formal words in there, the lawyer type words, to make it easier just to read. Then after we were finished with the revision, we presented it to the board of directors, and they approved the final copy. And then we sent it over to Larry Hawkins, or excuse me, over at AvMat, and he's our volunteer lawyer for our organization. And he made sure that everything cross-checked with the Missouri statutes and the wording was consistent and stuff like that, and gave us a couple more suggestions on some wording and things. And so we cleaned it up again, and then we presented the final draft to the board. They liked it, and then we presented it to the members for the final approval vote that is on the ballot. So there was just way too many changes to highlight just to tell you specifically what we changed. So it was pretty much a whole rewrite. So I posted both the current version that we have now from 2009 and the one that we revised, the 2021 version, and the policies and procedures. All three of those links are found on the members only content page of our website. So you can go in and look and review them. Just to remind you, to get to the members only content tab of the website, which will be at the top, you have to be logged in first. So log in at the top right-hand corner, and then that will pop up, and you can then access that hidden page of the website just for the members. So that's about all I've got. Unless Beth, you wanted to talk anything more?
Nope, I think you covered it. That really is the wave of the future, is to have the bylaws be much more small and compact and kind of high level. And then anything that we would foresee us changing as we go forward would be in a policy and procedure, because that's much easier to keep current with the current thing, rather than having to do a complete rewrite of your bylaws every time you want to change a job title or change a membership level or something. So that's really kind of the wave of the future in the nonprofit world. So I think that if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to Amy or I, but I think she's done a really good job on writing it with a little help from me. But Amy certainly took this ball and ran with it, and she gets all the kudos for the job she did.
I will second that on behalf of both of you. What a fantastic job you both did on that. Thank you so much. It's been a long time coming. All right, any questions on bylaws before we move on to the next topic? Next topic is CASE, the Coalition for Aviation Safety Education, going way back to last summer. Keith Mueller, Dick Horowitz, John Typen, and others have been working to put together a comprehensive training webinar, and it's going to serve this initial kickoff is being sponsored by flight instructors, GSLBAA, Wings of Hope, Women with Wings, and it's going to be a two-part series on non-towered airports. John Typen, if you don't know him, puts on webinars nationwide with thousands of people in the audience. So it's helping GSLBAA and our local St. Louis area have an outreach that goes way beyond our own region, which is wonderful. And they put together enough professional training material that they've broken it up into a two-part series. It'll be on February 23rd and March 23rd. If you go to the website under the events tab, you can find it and register to join. The programs are actually going to be in the evening, starting at 7 p.m. Central Time. So if you have any other questions, I'm not going to take a lot of time going over the details on this. You can certainly reach out to me, after the meeting, or if you know Keith Mueller or Dick Horowitz, I would recommend reaching out to them, because they've really been involved in that and can give you some more insight into what the program's all about. If Laura Holland is still with us, I see you're still on there, Laura. Do you have anything you want to add regarding the case presentation? Okay. We'll move on to the next topic, which is the 45th annual GSLBAA golf tournament, and I'll turn that over to Beth.
Sorry, I didn't have my thing on. Yes, we're having a golf tournament May 24th. It is once again at Old Hickory. The golf committee has just kind of started reaching out to sponsorships. I see that Lou Badami is on the call. Lou and Mike Christie are our sponsorship hunters, but we can certainly use some help from anybody in the membership who has contact either with their employer or with somebody that they know that could be a sponsor. We also are definitely going to be in need of golfers, and a foursome is $450. You can get a discount if you have a sponsorship over a certain level. So we're looking for some help on that. I also Of course, we'll need day of event volunteers. I know with you pilots, sometimes your schedules are, you don't know till closer to the time, but we would love to have anybody who either doesn't golf, who wants to come out and help that day, or has some line on sponsorships. We could certainly use some help with that. We're also, of course, looking for silent auction items. There's a virtual silent auction. So there's a link that's on our event page that you can go to check out what the items are, and you can bid on them remotely. I always say I won't ship them. You can come pick them up at Wings of Hope, but I did ship a few last year. So keep an eye out for that as we move forward in the thing. And also the flyer is out on the website. So please take the flyer, print it out, and share it with your contacts. We appreciate all the help.
Wonderful. Thank you. Appreciate the update on golf. The next topic is well, before I go to the next topic, any questions about golf? And in addition, unmuting yourself, you can always use the chat box in the bottom bar on the screen. Move on to the 9th annual trivia night. So a few quick items to point out regarding trivia night is it was personally a huge disappointment to me that we could not hold the 8th annual event. You know, it goes with the times, and not just because it's a really fun event and it's a great way to socialize with the members and their families and friends, but because the trivia night's grown to the point where the money we've been able to raise for the charities has been pretty significant. I feel last 2 trivia nights, I believe we cleared after costs netted $25,000 and $30,000 that got split between the Educational Foundation and Wings of Hope. So that's pretty significant money for those organizations, and we just weren't able to do it last year. So to Larry Crump's point earlier about having a leg up, he did the Q&A. He showed that to me. He did a fantastic PowerPoint presentation that's in the can that's ready to go for next year. We've got a great committee. The second point I'm going to make is I'm going to be stepping down as chairman of the committee, and Sarah Scharf with the Educational Foundation is going to start chairing the event. I'll be working with her very closely for this year to help her get her feet wet doing that. And then I will be stepping away from trivia night. The last thing is I've been in contact with Mike Bartoni at CBC, and it's going to be early May at the earliest before they know if they're even going to allow events. And we're shooting for early August. That has historically been the time when we've had the biggest crowds for trivia night. It seems to be the ideal time to do one. But if CBC is not going to allow in person, then we'll have to have a discussion amongst the committee members about whether we look for another venue or we do a virtual event. And last year I had been opposed to a virtual event. I didn't see the value in it. And then I subsequently attended a virtual trivia night, and I was suitably impressed and realized how wrong I was. And that is a very viable option. So there will be a trivia night this year. Now it's a question of whether or not it's going to be in person or virtual or possibly even a combination. So that's where things stand with trivia. And we'll keep everybody posted as we get closer to the date. Before we move on to the next topic, any questions or comments about trivia night? Okay, for the next topic, I'll turn it over to Jeremy regarding the upcoming GSLBAA webinar in late March. Jeremy?
Oh, goodness me. I wasn't prepared for that. I'm working away on a short Skyvan at the moment. Holy crap. What am I gonna do? Okay, let's see. I gotta find my email. You might be more up to speed than me. What was the gentleman's name? I don't remember what his name was. Let's see.
Patrick Deeker with Executive Jet Management.
EJM, yeah. Just trying to remember what his name is. Do you remember, Amy?
Well, the topic is SMS and pilot fatigue, March 26th at 2 p.m.
There you go. You've updated everybody on it. I'll be
All right.
emceeing. That's about it. So he hasn't sent me any details other than I was going to read what was in my email. I do apologize. I just wasn't prepared to be answering questions on the stand. So
That's
I will
okay.
stand down.
No worries. I'll tell you that having done Jeremy's job on the board, which is, you know, doing programs and reaching out and getting people to agree to do programs. Once in a blue moon, somebody will reach out to us and offer, and we always jump at that chance because it just you don't want to turn somebody down. And Patrick is executive jet management, new members of GSLBAA, and he offered to do one of the webinars, and so he's going to be doing that late March, and hopefully someday we'll get back to where they stop being webinars and start being in-person luncheons again.
Well, you helped me there because it's Patrick Deeker,
Yes.
Dieker. And as you say, he's executive jet management. He's actually managed jet sales. And it should be a really good webinar, I think. So I think we're going to be hopefully well attended for that. But I think that probably we'll continue the webinar series all the way through to the end of the year, like we did last year. We kind of ran out of stuff to do last year with COVID. So in fact, I think the intent was to do the one that John Taipan has been working on. And so I kind of backed off and got busy, and then that webinar hasn't happened. It's been long and being put together. Anyway, I'm going to stand down and hit mute button. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate it. We're getting near the end of the agenda here. The next notes, updating your contact information. We are missing addresses and phone numbers of many of our members, and no way of contacting people outside of email. So if you're aware of any GSLBAA members, you might just put a bug in their ear to check and make sure their profile's up to date. And if not, get a hold of Amy at info@geeslebaa.org. And you can also update your profile information by logging into your membership profile page at the top right-hand corner of the website. The next agenda item is affiliate organizations. We have partnered with local organizations to establish a working relationship between GSLBAA and other aviation-related organizations to spread the word about each other's goals, missions, and to promote membership within each organization. The three organizations we're partnered with now is the Missouri Aviation Historical Society, that is run by Dan O'Hara, and they're there over at Creve Coeur Airport. I have been a member for several years, and Dan does an amazing job putting on programs. It's a terrific organization, so I would strongly encourage everyone to look at their website. Greater St. Louis Flight Instructors Association. I don't remember who is on the board. I believe Dick Horowitz is one of their officers. Flight instructors, obviously, great need for that, and they have a great little organization going, and they're going to be a big part of putting on this non-towered airport webinar that we just discussed a little bit ago. And finally, Women with Wings. And Laura Holland, if you're available, are you able to tell us a little bit about your organization? Well, Lauren apparently, or Laura's still muted, so all three organizations have websites. And
oh, sorry, Tim, about that. I was talking on the cell line. So about 25 years ago, Women in Aviation was started here in St. Louis by Gloria Baum, and we have about 75 members. We've kind of been dormant during COVID, but trying to get things back together again. And what kind of separates us from the 99s and other organizations is we just try to promote women in all aspects of aviation, not just flying.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. So the last point with the affiliate memberships is GSLBAA members are eligible for a 50% discount membership with our affiliates. And you can go to the members only content page on our website. You have to log in to see it. That's everything on affiliate memberships, which is wonderful to get these different groups together, partner with each other, support each other, and continue to promote aviation. So that is everything that we have on the agenda. Before we adjourn, we'll open this up to everyone. Any questions, comments, suggestions? Anybody have anything they'd like to say before we adjourn?
Tim, if you don't mind, this is Wayne Hunsdorfer. I can give a very brief kind of update on the Education Foundation, if you don't mind.
That would be wonderful. Thank you, Wayne.
So a couple things that have recently, of course, with the COVID and everything else, we have not had a chance to get together. We're working up a webinar now, or a conference call to, but we've done the voting and some of the stuff we've done, just via email and stuff like that. So that maintains what we do. Sandy's on. Maybe she can give us. It's kind of cold call. If you don't have the number, that's fine. But maybe she can give a number of where we're at with funds in the Education Foundation. And of course, you all know that we're part of those we're investing, so it keeps growing, and then we keep enough out to do our annual scholarships that we give. We recently just voted and approved a new scholarship that would be the Butch Geeseman Memorial Scholarship. So we'll have joining John's hankies as well. So we'll have that will be the newest, I guess, the scholarship that we have. Very fitting for Butch and Abmats, that as long as they've been a member and all the stuff they've done for the organization, we felt it was very fitting that we provide that. So now with Dorothy's and John's, and now we'll have Butch Geeseman scholarship as well. It's been a little strange this year, naturally, with the inputs. I think the SWIC remains consistent, as does the SLU, as those are managed by the schools. So those have been funded and whatnot. It's the applications that we've received have been not quite naturally as many this year, with I guess, people not going or doing it remotely, but we think that'll start picking up. And I guess other than that, Sandy, do you maybe have, I don't know if Sandy's still on, if we have any latest and greatest numbers on the money, how much we have in the fund or in the Education Foundation?
Well, we got our $10,000 from the golf tournament. Excuse me. And our balance at Regions Bank is about 29,000. And then we still have about 10 in US Bank, which we have to move, but everybody who's on the account has to be at the bank to do it. So we haven't done that yet. And then I don't get our investment statements. They go to Tom Crowell, but I think we've got about 100,000 in our investments.
So that sounds roughly, yeah, that sounds just about right. And I'd like to put a big thank you out to you guys for continuing to fund, send the funds in from the golf outing and the trivia. It's really appreciated, and I can just tell you that with Peter and the stuff we're doing, we're investing it smartly, and keeping enough to cover the scholarships that we give away for the year, and our goal naturally is to just keep that growing. And I guess one other thing I'd ask the membership, that we are still looking for scholarships to give, especially what I guess the fun part of this is, it is relatives, it is people that are in the industry that have whoever they might have that they know going through an aviation program or something like that, where we could just make sure you get the word out. If there's any other schools or colleges that have aviation programs that we can look at adding to for scholarships, we're always looking for that as well. So please bring your input into us, and we appreciate it. And I think that's all I got, Tim, and unless there's any questions about it. Thank you for the time.
Wayne, thank you very much. Great update on the Educational Foundation. So,
hey, Tim.
Yes.
I actually do have a question for Wayne. The Butch Geeseman one, is that specifically for people who are going to do an A&P program or something? Is that geared towards that field, or is there a limitation on what it's used for?
We have not established a limitation, Todd, on that. We as they've gotten harder and harder to get kids to get, to get, it sounds really stupid, but to give the money away, we've relaxed a little bit on that particular thing. I still want to, as does the board, look at some pilot programs that we can help in kids on the front end. And, we all know that if it's 1,000 or 1,500 towards flying or getting them into the corporate flying market, you always have to be careful that it's not something they want to do because it's fun and cool, and it needs to be a business or that they're going to get into, if you will, and they're going to be a part of our, I think we've relaxed a little bit on knowing that they're going to commercial, that are going to get over to the airlines. I think our thought process is, if we do the right things on our side, that they'll be driven more towards the corporate market. So, and that all boiled down to really not getting enough applications in for the scholarships. Last year we didn't give all the funds we could have given away. So we keep them invested and we keep looking at that. So I guess the roundabout answer is, we have not established that it has to be an A&P, but it usually runs towards that in that school, or it could be even a program at SLU. We have a candidate that will probably receive it. I don't want to announce it yet because the vote hasn't been, everybody's kind of given it the nod, but I'll wait till we get that officially done, and it'll be a great first time thing for Butch's scholarship. It'll be a good one. So does that answer your question? So I guess who's ever
Yeah, thanks, Wayne.
applying it. And I think the other thing we have to do out there, and we will, is we're going to update our applications to have applicants be able to go for specific scholarships, now that we have like 3 that are special scholarships and a couple other ones that are I should say less money. They're still very meaningful, but we need to have them laid out for that specific scholarship, or it needs to be at least where they identify it, because right now they're just putting in an application and trying to get something. So but to that end, I like the question, because it'll make us stop and think about that a little bit, where maybe we need to do that. So anyway, thanks for the question.
Wayne, I've got a quick question for you. Forgive me for this, but
Oh, you're fine.
when will you make the award, or at least the announcement for the scholarship recipient?
I guess I was gonna, that's a great, thank you, Jeremy. That's a good point. Naturally, we would like, what I would recommend that we do is either on a call like this, or hopefully, I don't know, in the near future, I don't know if we'll ever get a meeting get together. But I would like to do it in this kind of format, where you guys foresee doing, you guys have been doing these, and so I would like to get, we're going to be getting together with a same thing, a web call for the board, and we have a lot of action items that we'll give you another update when we do this. But then we'll also, I think, present. It's always nice to bring them in and present them and do all that in person, right? But unfortunately, we'll just make sure they're on the call, unless this starts to open up and we can start doing face-to-face meetings again.
Well, well, there's 2 opportunities. One, traditionally, we can do it at the golf tournament, and we have pretty much established May we're going to have the golf tournament, and that will be face to face. So
that's a great point. Yeah.
However, there's another opportunity which I've been trying to establish, because COVID obviously has put a wrench in everything. But Justin Geeseman wants to host a luncheon for GSLBAA in the new facility at Spirit, to basically have an open house. And he hasn't had the opportunity to have an open house because of COVID. So I wonder if the scholarship that's tied to his late dad might be the ideal time to also coincide with the open house, and that way they can also run and whether this comes to fruition or if we do it via Zoom, when we do this, I think there needs to be a tribute film played at the ceremony, in my opinion.
Oh,
Because
that's
you're right,
awesome.
put
All awesome
amazing
ideas.
guys.
And yeah, I think that'd be great. And in this scholarship that we're getting will be for a fall type application anyway, right? So it could be in that May, June timeframe, and we'd be fine with it.
Oh, I think we should make a point to do it at Justin's luncheon.
Oh yeah, I
as
agree,
our-
Sandy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
All right.
great points. Thank you,
I've got
Jeremy.
my marching order.
Hey,
Thank
one
you.
more thing too, I'll just throw out there, from a Honeywell perspective, my company. So if, from a luncheon, if you guys got tied where you need somebody to sponsor something, let me know, and I'll commit to something for this year.
That's great.
Always, Wayne, always.
Hey, before we walk away from this, a couple of points, a question and a comment. Wayne, we talked about sometimes it's hard to give the money away. If the Educational Foundation isn't already doing this, I wonder if you guys would consider targeted advertising, if you will, with, you know, SLU and Lynn Tech, Central Missouri States, SWIC, all these different schools, and reach out to their development directors and whatnot and say, hey, we have these scholarships available. Please tell your students to visit our website. Is the Educational Foundation already doing something like that with the schools?
It is.
You know, Tim, I did that. I reached out to all of them about 3 years ago, and there really wasn't much interest in that. But I think it might be worth trying again. There might be new administrators and things like that.
Yeah,
I know.
Go ahead, Wayne.
No, just John's been getting around with some of that as well. So we do try to do that. But I think Sandy makes a good point that it's probably worth re-engaging them again. And then also maybe we do flyers and stick them up at the school where they let us. So, kids anymore seems like they're not digging for this for the funds like they used to. So I don't know, but it's a good point that we need to we'll get re-engaged on them and hit them up again.
Yeah, and I see from the chat, Laura Holland put in a note about putting that information online would also help, because kids don't own printers today. It just yeah, I think the more we put the word out, the better. And to that point, the comment I was going to make is the development director at SLU, Lisa Masters, recently left, and Lisa's been a great supporter of GSLBAA.
Absolutely.
I work with her a lot, and she's moved out of the. I think she went into the healthcare industry, and there's a new. Amy and I just had an email conversation with her. The new development director, her name's also is Amy, but it's spelled Aimee, and I have forgotten her last name. But Amy, the new development director at SLU, she and I are going to meet probably via Zoom sometime next week, just as a meet and greet and get to know each other. So and part of that, I will definitely let her know about the Educational Foundation and tell her, hey, there's free money out there for your students. Just got to get on the website and learn about it. So it's all good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to add one more thing I wanted to add that I didn't say before is I think we're going to be looking to add and for the I'll say the older folks like me, a little more, some young blood, some people that are in or that have just gotten out of maybe college and have now are in the career or in with corporate aviation or we'd like to get maybe open up another board slot. We'll vote on that. It hasn't been voted on yet, but my thought is, getting some younger blood in there to start, taking this thing over and they're more in tune to what's really going on today at the schools and everything else. So, in that, I don't want to, I guess I got to be careful not to be prejudiced, if you will, but that 30 to 40-year-old that is in the start of their career and doing, what they're doing and comes in with new ideas. I guess that's what we're looking for. And we're always open for that, by the way, to the members at large. You know, if there's anything or any help you can provide us in that and getting out to the schools and making them aware, we're all about that. And sponsoring things like we've done at the air show and stuff like that, that just helps get the word out. So just, it's everybody's funds, right? It's the GSLBAA's funds, right? So how we're charged with looking after them and making sure we're spending them right. But we are certainly open to any suggestions that anybody on the members might have. So please bring those in.
Great. Wayne, thank you. All great stuff. Really appreciate that update. It's incredibly helpful, and hopefully we can shake some things loose with the local schools and get some of that scholarship money distributed to kids that need it, and just keep letting the young people know about business aviation. It's
Yep, right on.
that's the future. So before we adjourn, any topic that we talked about today or anything else, does anyone have any other questions, comments, etc. before we adjourn? Going once, going twice. The GSLBAA 2021 annual membership meeting is hereby adjourned at 1:51 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you, all of you, for joining us. You have my contact information. Ping me anytime, and appreciate you all coming and joining with us today.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks for all you do. See you.
Thank
Take
you.
care, everybody.
Guys.
Thank you
Bye,
all. See you.
everybody.
Be safe.
Thanks, Tim.